guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing, a rather big one. Guys, I got 5 boxes to share with you tonight. My friends, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC and PSA dealer located up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And this is my weekly show where I come on here and I showcase your comics and magazines as they come back from the two grading companies. Again, tonight I have a lot of magazines and I have a lot of comic books to share with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 boxes here, but you know, like I said last week, if you were watching the show last week, CGC has not been stuffing the boxes with 25 comics like they used to. I seem to be getting around, 20 comics and maybe about 16, 15 magazines. So not exactly, 125 books to share with you tonight, but still, it was 5 boxes. I do swear. Hey guys, if you are new here, if you like checking out what's hot in the world of comic books and magazines, you kind of like the days of show and tell back when we were kids and we'd show and tell some of the cool stuff that we had. This might be the place for you. I hope you consider subscribing to the channel, liking the content, sharing the content, and I'll be back again probably later this week because I still have another 6 or 7 boxes to go. And a lot of people are chomping at the bit, wanting to see some of their books. Because I do know whose books are here. I just don't know which boxes they're in. So I'm just going by the date on the box. So whichever boxes were here first, those are the ones I'm opening. These ones, I think 4 of these were not arrived, but were shipped on August the 14th from CGC in Sarasota. And I think 1 box was shipped on August the 20th. And the next one is August the 21st, I believe. Let's see who's here before we get going. We got Dave in the house. How you doing, man? Good to see you. No, I don't think they lost your book at all. Don't worry about it, Dave. It'll show up. Luke's in the house. How you doing, Luke? John's here as well. Mike, how are you? Mike, got some 9/8s for you, my friend. I saw some of your books come back. Not come back, but I saw them on the system yesterday, so that was quite good. Paul's here as well. Paul's Cards. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you, my friend. All right, we've got the Bad Hombres here as well, too. Oh, yes, that is right. My friends, Bad Hombre actually, while I have you here, Bad Hombre actually put a video up because he sent out a bunch of pre-screens himself to CGC. He tends to like to do that himself, and that's cool. I have a lot of customers who like to send books into CGC directly. He sent in a pre-screen order of 25 books, I believe, and I believe 21 came back 9.8. And he has a video up of that, and he was going to send me the link. You know what? If you can send it here, actually, put it up in the comments here, and everyone can go on over and check out Bad Hombre's video and see some pretty great books coming back 9.8. And a lot of Bad Hombre's books are Bronze Age books. So if you are a big Bronze Age fan, some more obscure books, I think you're really going to like those. So check that out when he posts the link. And then I'll put the link down in the comment section below, or down in the info section below as well. Eric's in the house. How you doing, Eric? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here live as well. Justin's here as well. How you doing, Justin? Okay, let's get started. We got a lot of books to share with you, so let's rock and roll. All right, so we'll start with some magazines. I got a smaller box of mags. We got some Playboys, my friend. We have Sally Field, Playboy from 1986. And then, let me move my microphone. I don't want to lose my sound. It's very temporary. There we go. In an 8.5. Sally Field classic cover. We have a 9.4 copy with Jenny McCarthy. And that is in a 9.4. Sweet. Nothing like starting off with Playboy. Hey, guys. We have a 9.6. It's a swimsuit issue from 2025. And that is in a 9.6. Come on. All right. We have a Maple Leaf Gardens. What is this? A Hockey Night in Toronto, number 3. This is a final game at Maple Leaf Gardens program. Pretty sick. In a 9.0. So if you were at the last game at Maple Leaf Gardens, this is the program or the booklet they gave out back in 1999. Check that out in a 9.0. Very, very cool. These Playboys are mostly, I think, 80s and perhaps 90s. These ones here. I've got a few more coming, and I'll let you know the years as we go. We have a Vogue from 2025, the Met issue, in a 9.8 white pager. We have, all right, a Playboy book that I've been seeing. And you probably know the one I'm thinking of. It is Mr. Donald Trump, the President of the United States. That's a 9.6 from 1990. There you go. Pretty hot book right now. I'm just getting a little note here, guys. All right. One sec, guys. I'm just taking off my Facebook stream because the Facebook stream is not working. Hopefully the YouTube stream is working fine. All right. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, get rid of that. All right. Hopefully this is still working. Hopefully my stream is still going. All right. We also, okay, so I got that one done. Then we have Dan Aykroyd and Pamela Anderson. And that is in a 9.2. This is a pretty classic cover too. I've seen this many, many times. From 1993. Again, Pam Anderson and Dan Aykroyd. It's a cone head right there. Two Canadians on the cover of Playboy. Pretty cool. Derek says, my submission finally went from received to GEI. Hopefully I get grades soon. You will get grades once they go to shipped. Once it says shipped, your grades will be available. Prior to that, they will not release grades. In the old days, CGC would provide the grades once they were finished being evaluated. But people people that were not happy would call, inundate them with phone calls. I just saw my book was graded at 8.5. I expected a 9.8. What the hell are you people doing? So CGC had enough of that. And they kind of got smart and said, yeah, we're not publishing grades, so the books are on their way back to you. So that'll hopefully alleviate these phone calls, these irate customers phoning in and complaining about their grades. Smart move, actually, I would say. Spartacus asks, hey, Doc, have you heard of any tariffs being charged? I've heard that Canada Post. Guys, if you're watching for the United States, I am up here in just outside of Toronto. I have heard that Canada Post is charging tariffs on pretty much everything that's being shipped down to the States. You put a value on it and they charge you right there and then when you ship it. I've heard that Purelator is not doing that. I have not shipped any boxes out since this whole, my last box went out just before this whole turnover last week. So I'm waiting to still talk to my broker, FedEx Trade, and find out what's going on. I have a feeling it's not going to affect, to be honest. I think I may have to pay a brokerage fee. That's what I keep hearing. So just like I already pay when books come back from CGC or PSA, I automatically pay a brokerage fee. In fact, when my American clients send me books, I pay a brokerage fee. I don't tell them that. I just pay it because that's the kind of guy I am. I want my American clients to be happy. So even when I pay for your shipping up here, whatever that might cost, I always am hit with a brokerage fee at the border as well, too. So I'm paying UPS charges, FedEx charges, whatever. And then I pay a brokerage fees to get your books across the border to me. What I understand now is that when we're sending books down to CGC, down to Santa Ana for PSA, or down to Sarasota for CGC, or if I'm returning books back, like raw books back to my clients, I'm going to possibly need a broker. That's what I'm trying to ascertain. I am not sending any books back down to south of the border until I know exactly what I'm going to expect. Currently, we are working on Fan Expo signed books, and boy, oh boy, our witness did a fantastic job. We got every single signature except for Mike Tyson. Come on, Mike Tyson, what are you doing? Anyways, the books look fantastic. They're being worked on as we speak. Those books will be finished up probably this week or early next. By that point, I should have an idea as to what's going on with the tariffs and all that stuff. Again, I don't think it's going to impact us that greatly. Again, we're talking about comic books. We value them. I value them very low when I send them down. And they're produced and they're manufactured in the United States for the most part. So what tariffs am I paying? And they're not sold. These are not being sold. They're being sent down for a service. So really, I don't anticipate any problems. And understand something. Whenever I send stuff, when I've sent stuff down in the past, I always indicate on the way bill or the commercial invoice, these are customer books that will be returned upon the completion of evaluation service by CGC or PSA. That's what I say. So it's long-winded, but it basically tells the customs agents these books have not been. I also say these books have not been sold. They will be returned. So they know that. And not to toot my own horn, but I think the brokers kind of know me. The ones up here in Mississauga do, because I'm getting stuff. I'm getting stuff back all the time. They know who I am. They know what my operations are. And don't think for a second, if you have a business, that they're not looking you up and checking out what you do, right? As you know, I don't sell nothing on my website. I'm a service, just like CGC is a service. I'm not selling comic books. So again, I think we're going to be okay, guys. I think we're going to be okay, but you never know. And when I know, you will know. But good question, Spartacus. Thanks for asking. Hooray for your witness. Yeah, I was so nervous when I was in Hawaii. I've never relinquished that to anybody. It's usually like, I can't witness, you know that. But like last year when I was at Fan Expo, I was there kind of overseeing everything. I was facilitating. And, Nipur and Ryan went off and got the signatures, and that was great. My wife was there to help as well, too. She couldn't witness, though, at that time. She wasn't signed up, but she was there to kind of oversee, to help me as a partner at that day. And it went really well. But I was right there. I got the books back in my hand. I was in Hawaii, and I was having a panic attack the entire Fan Expo weekend that, oh, my gosh, the books, what's going to happen to them? Oh, my gosh, are they going to be okay? And I was kind of freaking out. But everything was, I'm a worrywart, guys. I'm a worrywart, and everything turned out just fine. I picked the books up on last Friday, and they look fantastic. So, again, they're being pressed and cleaned as we speak, and they'll be gone soon. Bad Ombre says, I sold comic books on eBay, sent 3 CGC books through Canada Post, no duties, as the books are under 800 USD, and we're many. But that's what I don't understand. Apparently, that whole under $800 thing is no longer a thing. So that was like the last day or so, Mike. I did not send through Stallion Express as they wanted too many steps, including a SKU number that needs to be approved by them. So I went back to Canada Post. All right. Thanks, Luke. And your books look great. That one with Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox and Bob Gale looks perfect. Looks really nice. Bad Ombre says, I hope so. I was worried. Seems okay so far. I think it's going to be all right. And remember, when I send books down to CGC, like 9 times out of 10, I use priority shipping. So it's there the next day. It's there the next day. And oftentimes when you use priority shipping, all the brokerage fees are kind of included. So I'm hoping that is still the case. And in which case, I'll just keep using priority because it works really well. And I love that the books are there. Look, I'm still amazed that FedEx can. I remember I dropped off I missed the cutoff to have my books picked up one night. It was a Thursday. So I drove over to there's a new FedEx depot in Whitby. It's about a 25-minute drive from my house. So I packed the boxes up and I drove it out to Whitby, which is about, like I said, 20, 25 minutes from here. And I went to the FedEx station. I dropped them off in person at like 8 o'clock at night. And they were at CGC 10 o'clock the next morning. It just boggles my mind. They've got their operation's unbelievable. But again, I use priority. When you pay for that, things kind of go a little smoother. When you use ground, well, yeah, things can be delayed. Kayla and I have no idea. They're kind of in queue, and we're kind of reviewing them. And as they need them, we do them. If they don't need them, we don't do them. Right? Especially modern books. I'm not 100% sure. I was only in the shop for a moment today. I'm not back in the shop until Thursday, so I'll see what's going on. I might have a better idea on Thursday. Eric, what are the top 3 books trends you are seeing right now? Curious what's coming in. Seems like more mags as of late. Well, these mags, to be honest, it's a little deceiving. These are the last of the magazines that were kind of put on in limbo back in like the spring. Back in the spring, CGC had a 30, 40 business day turnaround time for magazines that you're seeing right now. But then all of a sudden, they turned that 40 days to like 80 days or 75 days. And all these magazines were stuck there for an additional 3 months. And because of that, now I'm seeing all those magazines come back. So it's a little deceiving. Yeah, I have a lot of magazines today, but it's a little deceiving. What am I seeing a lot of? I'm seeing the same old, really, the key books you see, Fantastic Four, before Superman came out, a lot of Superman books. But Fantastic Four 48's huge, Hulk 181s are always there. ASM 300s, the standard books you always see. People are Bad Hombre, maybe he's influencing people. I am seeing a lot of guys looking for those Bronze Age, non-key Silver Age books. Horror books are hot in high grade. Those are what you're looking for. Horror books are hot as well too. House of Secrets, those types of books, pretty popular as well. And yeah, magazines are hot too. No, I have not. I have about another 6 or 7 boxes to go. The $800 US de minimis threshold has been eliminated. That's what I mean. So there's no more 800 threshold. They can tariff you on $10 as far as I understand it. Brian Pulaski in the house. Mr. New Brunswick, how are you? Good to see you. Mark Spears, LOL. All right, let's keep going. Lots of books. Okay, that's kind of a half of a box. Let me I'll do a few more magazines and we'll go to comics. We have more Playboys. Little 9 to 5 action with Dolly Parton and a 7.0. That is from 1978. That's a heavy book, boy. Gee, I wonder why this one's so heavy. Why is Dolly Parton's book so heavy, I wonder? We have Vanna White from 1987. And Vanna is still on Wheel of Fortune, and her little tush is showing there, right there, little plumber butt action with the Marlboro Man in the back. And that's from 1987, like I said. That Dolly Parton one is heavy, man. Really, really heavy. Okay, what else we have? We have, all right, it's a Nintendo Power. These are starting to get a little more popular too. Nintendo Power 285 in a 9.0. We have a PSA magazine and a CGC slab in a 9.4. That's a pretty cool book. I think we had a 9.8 of this not too long ago. More Playboy. We have, who is this? Looks like, who is this? Girls of the Southeastern Conference. Keith Richards, Julie McCullough. Julie McCullough? Oh, sorry. This is Pam Anderson. They didn't look like Pam. First Pam Anderson cover on a Playboy from 1989. First Pam Anderson right there. When it comes to Playboy, Pam Anderson's hot. She was on there quite a bit, and I see those come into the shop quite a bit as well. Right there. That's a 9.2. Oh, another Pam Anderson here, I believe. Is that Pam Anderson? Yeah, another Pam Anderson. Look, I told you, I wasn't joking. Here comes a real popular one in a second. Another Pamela Anderson Playboy with a little bit of something stuck inside the book or inside the slab there. A little bit of some kind of plastic or something is embedded there. It's not hurting anything, but it's a 7.0 Pam Anderson right there. $3.95 cover price. 7.0. All right. Now we have, I remember this one. Right here. This is 1985. And I think I remember pulling this one down and having a sneak peek because I was Madonna. right here, 1985 in an 8.0. Anybody else remember this one? It was a pretty big deal back then. She was pretty, an 85. She was right in her heyday, man. Good question, Kaylin. How come I don't see a lot of 9/8 magazines? Well, because magazines are tough to get in great condition, and I mean they're out there, right? But they're not easy to come by. And magazines are actually very different. It's a whole different procedure to press them as well too. The paper is much finer in a magazine, and the covers are much finer as well too. So they're really tricky to press and clean. Excuse me. So, but you're right. You don't see a ton of 9/8. Hey, Trevor, how are you? Good to see you. Good seeing you on Saturday. Pete's in the house too. Please, no remarks on cracking that van. And then Hector, older magazines never truly protected, but they are out there. Yeah, I mean, you can find them for sure. You can, just like you can find some awesome comic books. You can find those awesome magazines. And the crazy thing is with magazines, look, I'm telling you, some people just still don't realize the value that's there. I remember, I tell the story. I was in Buffalo buying, kind of doing I was picking toys back before I started doing comic doctoring. I was pressing books, but I was also looking for toys. And my buddies and I would go on little tours. We'd drive, we'd go down to Syracuse and drive around the lake and come back through Niagara and back home again. We'd circle the lake, and I would stop and go to yard sales, and I would look at, Craigslist and go to people's houses and buy comics and toys and magazines. And I went to one lady in Buffalo, and I bought some Star Wars toys off her. And she goes, "Hey, you want some Playboys?" And I looked over. She had these totes that were like probably 3 foot by like 3.5 feet by 2.5 feet, 3 feet tall, filled with Playboy books. And she's my dad's. It goes back to like the mid 70s. So you're talking, mid 70s up to probably that time 2000 and probably mid 70s to the mid 90s, basically. So some pretty big books right in there. And she's basically said, just give me $100 and take them all. And they were really, really heavy. And I kind of felt weird going over the border with Playboy books, to be quite honest. And I kind of said, no, I kicked myself. I didn't just take them because she just wanted them gone. So yeah, anyways, if you look, you'll find them. They are out there. Not everyone realizes that magazines are they're not as, I think, valuable as comics per se, but there certainly are some issues that will over time could certainly increase in value. And if they're taken taken good care of, then that's all the better, right? But again, most people do not put their magazines in bags and boards. Most people don't. And so, yeah, you're going to see a certain degree of damage on them too. But to find mint ones, they're out there. You just got to find them. The Conehead Pamphlet is most valuable. Okay. The stream's acting really weird tonight, I'm hearing. Even StreamYard's telling me the stream is kind of weird, but I'm glad it's going again. Okay, let's keep going. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. We have some more mags. Okay. Oh, this is cool. We got a 9.8. Here you go, Kaylin. We got a 9.8 copy of Poke Time magazine, special edition Pokemon, no number, and a 9.8 right there. There you go. We got 198 for you. The gaming manuals, very popular. Keep your eye open for these guys. These are the next frontier. Legend of Zelda, I think, from 1992 and a 9.4. And these guys, these gaming manuals, to find them in a high grade ain't easy. These were, kids were opening these things up and reading them and getting information for the video games they were playing, I would assume. So they're oftentimes beat up pretty good. So you find one in a 9.4, a 9.6, a 9.8 in these, that's pretty special. That's for sure. We also have a copy of Sports Illustrated from 1956. Check this out. First Whitey Ford cover. Yeah. First Whitey Ford cover. Check this one out. In a 4.5. Very nice looking book. She presents really nicely in the slab. Again, I'm really anxious to see PSA's magazine slabs. They're going to be so heavy. Holy cow, I can't imagine how heavy they're going to be. And the last one in this order is another Zelda from 2000 in a 9.0. Did any of you guys collect these at all? Let's go back to the comments. Got a stable, but still in the bag. Okay, that's good. Nice Pokemon time. I have a lot of old Pokemon guides in the Ruby. Yeah, those are hot, man. Those are hot. But me and my brothers use them like a lot and aren't in the bed. But yeah, some of them still are valuable though. Some are still valuable. Rape Star Fox Zero Guide Action. Yeah, check it out, man. They could be pretty valuable. They certainly can. Okay, let's put these guys away, and we'll do some comics. How about that? Let's do some comic books. Give me 1 sec. I'm just putting away these magazines. One there, one there. All right, so that's 2 boxes. Let's go to. We'll do some comics, a few mags, and then straight back to comics again. All right, so what do we got here for comic books? Okay, we've got some fun modern Bart Simpson stuff. We've got a Treehouse of Horror and a 9.8. Pretty cool. We have SpongeBob Comics #1 in a 9.8. There you go. All right, we've got an X-Men #4, first appearance of Omega Red in a 9.8. These are all 9.8s, I think, which is fantastic. We've got Simpsons Comics #1, Bongo comic books. You guessed it, in a 9.8. Right there. And last but not least, in this box, we have a Street Fighter from Malibu Comics #1. I think I've got some of these somewhere at the shop. Anyways, 9.8 right there with the gold. I think there's different variations of the title. Yeah, gold edition, gold foil, and there's other ones as well. Pretty cool. All in 9. So nice string of 9.8s there. The amount of stuff we had and didn't keep it kills me. You know, we're all there. I think we can all look back at stuff we had and no longer have, and not that we threw it away or, you know. I think back to my like things like my Mego Planet of the Apes treehouse, which I remember having and loving and playing the heck out of that thing. And I don't know what happened. I would assume my mom turfed it. She had to have turfed it because I wouldn't have turfed it. You know, mums clean up and things go bye-bye, and that's kind of probably what happened. I don't know when, but boy, it breaks my heart. You know, I've got I had the little Mego Pocket Heroes. I had a ton of them, and all I have is Wonder Woman left, and she's broken, which kind of sucks. But I had them all. I had Green Goblin and Shazam and Penguin and Hulk and Spider-Man and Superman and Shazam. Had them all. Don't have any left. So where'd those things go? I don't recall where they went. You know, I had all my Star Wars. I think I have my Micronauts somewhere. And I'm telling you, when I retire from teaching, this is gonna change, guys. This is gonna become my man cave. It was once my man cave. There was no presses in here originally. This was all toys and stuff behind. I was basically surrounded by toys here for the longest time. And then, you know, one press moved in, and then 2 presses moved in, and the toys went away. One by one, you know, this bunch of toys went away, and all I have left now are my Star Wars my action figures that are hanging on the wall there. Everything else is in storage, which I don't like. I want my stuff out, and it's going to come out. That's for sure. Dannon's here. Good seeing you on Saturday, Dannon. How was the first day of school? It was fine. It was fine. Our school, actually, we do like kind of a red carpet thing on the it's a high school. I work at a high school, guys, and our first day is kind of like student council, or I don't know who the heck does it, but student council, I think, does kind of like a pep rally, and a guest speaker came in. So it was more like go in and just kind of accompany the kids, hand out their lockers. It was more clear, you know, busy work today. Tomorrow we get down to business tomorrow. Tomorrow the syllabus goes out. We start getting down to work. So anyways, yeah, the kids look good. The kids look they're a good bunch of kids, which is always great. Voltron. Yeah, man. I buy Voltron toys. Let me ask this question. What toys did you have as a kid, or comics or magazines or whatever, that you don't know what happened to them, but they're gone? There you go. Let us know in the comment. I want to know what toys or magazines or comic books or whatever that you owned as a kid, you remember having or playing with or using, and then they just disappeared. And you didn't get rid of them, but someone else did. What was it? So Hector says Voltron. My dad's friend. So my friend's dad grew up reading comics in the 60s and had a lot of the good keys: Daredevil, X-Men 1, Spider-Man 23, FF48, so on and so forth. Then his mom wanted him to get rid of them and then sold them. Thanks, Mom. In the 80s for like $20. Yeah, that's about it. I remember going to the comic store in the 80s when I first started, and you could buy early ASM books from issue probably 15, 14 and up, $20, $10, $30. That was pretty commonplace. Yeah. Dan, how often are you generally surprised that a book comes back instead of a lower grade? With moderns, not very surprised at all. I mean, really, sometimes a book will come back higher grade than I anticipated. Usually it's an older, like a Golden Age book. I think that's only because I tend to grade the Golden Age books like I grade every book. And so I don't give Golden Age books a pass. Whereas CGC graders, they really do look at the Golden Age books with tender eyes. They're not as, severe with their grading standards. So when I get a higher grade book that's golden, I'm really impressed. Even a Bronze Age, we were talking, to Bad Hombre here about those Bronze Age books that he has. When they come back 9.8, I love it's surprising. So, because those are hard to find in 9.8, to really be honest. But I don't think I've ever really been, oh my God, it's a 9.8. Like, if a book comes back in 9.8, I probably would have thought, this has a shot at a 9.8 when we send it in. We see so many bloody books now. It doesn't, if anything, a book will come in lower grade. I'm like, what? And I don't understand why it comes back lower. That is when I'm more genuinely surprised when a book comes back a lower grade than we had anticipated. Hey, Brian, again, how's it going? XL says, XL Squirrel Nut says, what's your thoughts on Sports Illustrated magazines and a PSA holder? Are you? Oh yeah, we are. I'm in the space. I'm a PSA dealer. The magazines at PSA aren't happening until probably later this month or into October. I have a bunch of magazines at PSA right now. And yeah, I think I honestly think that I got to see one, but I have a feeling that the sports magazines are really they kind of go hand in hand with PSA. So I think, yeah, I told them that. I said, you're really going to hit the ball of the park when it comes to sports related material and magazines for sure. It's going to look great. I mean, imagine having a Wayne Gretzky rookie card and then the Wayne Gretzky, first appearance in Sports Illustrated. It's kind of awesome, right? It's kind of goes hand in hand. All the way from the East Coast, Brian was an Oshawa boy, lived 10 minutes from here, and now he lives in New Brunswick in Moncton, far, far away. Trevor says he missed the Lego went missing. And Caitlin says, I still have a lot of my old Lego Bionicles. I think I still have them, but I don't know where. Maybe they're gone, Caitlin. Maybe they're just gone. You never know. Dave says, video game consoles and game guides too. Yeah. I have my old Atari 2600 downstairs, but I got rid of my Sega Genesis, all my games at a yard sale, my early PlayStation, got rid of all that. And then my son's I bought him a Sega Genesis. I bought him, PlayStations, but my stuff, yeah, I got rid of it all. The only one I kept was the 2600. What I did get rid of, and I'm really regretting it now, although it probably is just more of a nostalgia piece, is I had a Commodore 64, the disk drive, and the printer, and a little tape deck, and and I got rid of that. And back in the day, a Commodore 64 disk drive, like back in like 87, 88, was like $400, $500. Lots of money. Yes, I was spoiled. My mom and dad got me that stuff, my little 300 baud pocket modem, and I would go on the BBSs. I was a pretty big comic book nerd. I was computer nerd to go along with comic books. So I tinkered with that, and I gave the whole thing to my buddy Rob, and I called him the other day. I said, if you still have it, I'll buy it back off you because I want it for my son. But he doesn't remember me giving it to him. So I think I'm never getting back my Commodore 64. But I kind of regret that one too, because I spent a lot of time on that. XL, I think PSA will dominate. Yeah, I kind of, Hector, I'm with you on that. I am with you. It fits the brand. Good point. Some Big Jim stuff. Oh, have some of it, but not all. I love Big Jim, man. I don't have it here. I have a Big Jim piece, but it's not handy. My brother had the Big Jim Kung Fu Studio, and I think there's one for sale locally. It's not complete though, but I had the Kung Fu Studio, and he had the Big Jim camper, the white camper. Frick, my brother had that like in 1970. I'm going to say 74. I remember I was 3 years old playing with that thing, and I remember that to this day. Christmas, him getting the Big Jim camper. Yeah, I dig. Big Jim was cool. His arm would flex and a big muscle would pop up. So yeah, I have no idea what happened to all my Big Jim stuff. It all went bye-bye. Yeah, that's gone too. Everything has a price. Most of my stuff was sold. Yeah, it does. Did you have Frogs and Flies on the Atari? I had Frogger. And you know what? Frogs and Flies rings a bell. Frogs. Is it just Frogger? Or is it a different game? Wayne is here. Wayne says, I sold my Micronauts back in 77. Was that you? No, it wasn't, Wayne, but I sure wish I did. If you watch my show here back in, I think the spring, I bought a bunch of Micronauts from Comic Alley Toys downtown. And I have one Micronauts ship left. Like I had the battle cruiser and I had this tall thing. Don't know what the hell it was called, but I'm going to set that stuff up and I have some figures to go with it now. So that will happen. It'll be right behind me one day. I can't wait to get this room set up, but boy, I need time. I need time to do it. I got ideas for this whole space. It's not a very big room, but it's going to be all my toys. Put an old stereo system over there. I would love an old jukebox. If you got an old jukebox, a real jukebox, it doesn't have to be like from a Wurlitzer from the 50s. Those are too expensive. But a good condition 1970s, even late 60s jukebox, you don't want too much money for it and you're local, I might be interested. Worst is selling too early. I sold Kobe jersey for $8K now. What? Oof. That makes me my stomach upset when you said that. I rebought all my $6 Million Man figures. Those are cool. A guy at a toy show in Ajax, Wayne, had them all boxed, all of them. There's a Bigfoot. Do you have a Bigfoot? It's for sale. There's one for sale locally right now, but it's missing the chest piece. The guy wants like $250 Canadian, which is not bad for a Bigfoot. Kaylin says, Frogger was the game you crossed the street. Frogs and Flies are the game you jumped up on. I think I had that because that rings a bell. That rings a bell. I'm having fun reading all these because these are things that I remember when I was a kid. I also had an Odyssey with a KC Munchkin. What the heck is that? With KC Munchkin. I'm going to see what that is. Odyssey, KC Munchkin. Odyssey, KC Munchkin. What is this? Oh, that. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't have one of those. I did not have one of those. Oh, you saw the Bigfoot, eh? I was tempted, but I don't know. Mike says European moms, but they're very stealth about it, right? They're very stealth. My mom always was very tidy, like to clean things up. But I have an old suitcase, like an old tiny suitcase downstairs in the basement, packed away in storage somewhere. And I know I have a couple of Micronauts in there, and just some random figures from the 70s and 80s. I got to pull them out. They're in there. Yeah. Pac-Man clone. Yeah, that's right. I found my old Genesis recently. I had NHL 94. That's hilarious. Tandy TRS 80. I remember that. I want to see what it looks like though, but I remember that. TRS 80. That was a play system too, right? Yeah, it was a computer system. Hilarious. Hilarious, man. Early days. Man, early days. All right, let's keep going. Did I look at these yet? Oh my God, we got so much to do. Let's keep going. I got two more boxes. I got almost 2.5 boxes. Let's rock and roll here. Great conversation, guys. Great conversation. We got a Super Mario Player's Guide from 96 for those that are interested in the years, and that came back as 7.0. That's a pretty cool looking mag. We have another Pokemon Player's Guide from 1998, and that came back 8.0. These are incredibly hard to work on. The covers are very thick. They can be quite. We charge $55 for these to work on manual. Just if you're wondering, standard magazines like Sports Illustrated, whatever, $40. When it comes to these player guides, we went up to $55. They take forever, and the results, they're pretty good. But what I'm noticing with these now is they're grading them a little harder than they were initially. I find, we kind of broke. Yeah, we haven't done these ones yet. We haven't. I wouldn't be surprised if I was one of the first guys to send in these player manuals, because one of my customers, Logan, is a big fan of these, and he collects them like crazy. And he was sending them in. They were the only ones on the census. So I think a lot of, and they're making mistakes sometimes. Like he'd be like, no, they're not. They don't understand what these magazines are, and what's rare about this one, or what's rare about that one, or this one needs this, or it needs that, and they don't understand that. So it was very frustrating for Logan, because CGC was trying to grade these, and they just don't. I'm going to say it. They just didn't have the expertise or the people grading them to understand what these magazines actually were. So it was very frustrating for him. That said, they are not easy to work on, but the first few we were getting back, the grades were, I thought, were kind of high for some of the conditions that I was sending in. But now they're starting to be a little more stricter. Anyways, another 9.8 Pokemon Time is the second one of these. We've got an X-Men versus Street Fighter, pretty cool looking book. That is from 1998. He's 98. That's almost 20 years, man. In a 9.0 right there. I was teaching for 1 year in 98. I wasn't even married yet. Ugh. Crazy. All right, guys, you ready? When it comes to magazines, this is the dude that's getting a lot of coverage. Donald Trump in a 9.0, Person of the Year, Time Magazine. And then another one in a 9.4. So seeing a lot of Donald Trump covers, quite popular. Someone was asking what's hot when it comes to magazines. Of course, popular sports figures, and this guy. This guy's pretty popular. Make sure there's no cracks or anything. Looks pretty good. Okay, what else? All right, we got a Time Athlete of the Year from 2024. Caitlin Clark covered in a 9.6. And then we've got one in a 9.8. And these are new, right? These are from last year, guys. These are not very old. And you can see how strict they are with the grading on these. And, when you're next to Shoppers Drug Mart, walk over to the magazine section and flip through a magazine and feel the difference between a mag and a comic. You're going to notice a difference. And the fact that it's bigger, really, the fact that it's bigger means more damage is possible to it, believe it or not, right? Harder to transport, harder to store. So more chances for damage or defects to occur. So magazines kind of face it, face all of that. Anyway, so other 9.8 here. What else? Oh, that one already, I think. Yeah, so a couple more manuals here. Oh, here's a big one coming up. We've got another Nintendo Power from 2004. A 20-year-old manual here in a 9.0. And we end this batch of mags with a 9.8 from 2025. Again, 9.8, Donald Trump, 47th President of the United States. Right? There you go. All right. The rest are comics. 2 more boxes filled with comics. Wayne says it right here. We are old. Yes, we are. We're not young. We're not spring chickens. That's for sure. We are punch a hole on floppy. That's right. That's right. You punch a hole. Many Sports Illustrated issues are regional variants, and they don't know. They're learning. Well, that's it. It's different, right? It's different. Don't hand over magazines to a cashier. Yeah, man. It's like, some people just don't know how to handle the stuff, right? And that's the issue. All right, let's move these guys out of the way. Now, listen, I'm going to try to sort these things tomorrow. I'm going to try to sort them tomorrow. If there's any finished orders, I'm going to send out texts tomorrow night. And I have some orders that were done last week, and I didn't send out for last Saturday. I was just really overwhelmed, guys. So I just guys had already booked Saturday. I just didn't want to add more fuel to the fire. So I'm going to send out notices tomorrow. If you have orders ready, you can come on by and pick them up. Now, I'm going to be at the Toronto Comic Book Show on September the 28th, and I am not bringing books to the Toronto Comic Book Show. Just saying, I ain't doing it. It's just, it's that morning is very stressful as it is. And that said, I'm actually going to the Toronto Comic Book Show after spending a night in a hotel at a wedding. So I won't be able to bring stuff. I'm not leaving stuff in the car at a hotel. It's just not conducive. It ain't happening. I don't want people's stuff to go missing or get stolen. So don't ask. I'm not bringing it, but I will ship it. I will ship stuff. Or again, you can come on by the shop and see me here. Okay, let's keep going. Time for some comics. I have no idea what's in these boxes. I saw a few 9/8. Okay, here we go. We got a Green Lantern. We've got a Green Lantern number 40 and a 7.5. Yeah, we got some Silver Age for you, Peter. And a DC to boot. 2 DCs. These were CPRs, I think, but I don't remember the grades. This one here is a 9.2 Firestorm. I think it was a 9.2 or a 9 originally. Hope it wasn't a 9.4. It might have been. I don't remember. But anyways, 9.2. So 2 DC books, Peter, for you. I know you are a fan. I'll put that over there. And what else? We got some. Okay, we got a 9.8. All right, we got some modern stuff. Sorry, Peter, didn't last very. We got some more Silver Age in there, though. We got look at that label. Look at that label. Sick. That Gambit label actually looks fabulous. 9.8 Gambit label. Very cool. That's the first one I've seen, actually. We got a 9.0 Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. There you go. We have some more Star Wars, I think, a number 2 and a 7.5. I'm not checking. I'm trying to check the slabs to make sure there's nothing ornery about them. So far, so good. We got an 8.5 copy of League. Oh, look at that. A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, number 1 from 1999. America's Best Comics by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill, and an 8.5 right there. Cool. Cool. All right. Okay. We have a Marvel Comics Presents number 1 in a 9.4. We have a Wolverine number 3 newsstand copy in a 9.2. We have a Punisher number 2 in a 9.2 newsstand. We have a first Scott Lang here in this. You know what? Not bad. 9.8 white pages. First Scott Lang. Nothing wrong with that. Marvel Premiere, 1979. Pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that one for my collection, actually. I wonder what that costs now. I'm sure that's come down quite a bit. All right. What else we got? We have a 9.4 Ghost Rider. First appearance, Dan Ketch as Ghost Rider right here, 9.4. Nice. We got a 9.8 copy of Wolverine number 1, and that is a newsstand edition in a 9.8. Nice looking book. We have a 9.8 copy. Oh, there goes my mouse. Oh, There goes my mouse. Okay. The 9.8 copy of Radioactive Man, number 1 from 1993. Why is it out of focus? There we go. Bill Morrison cover and art. I have a copy of this in a 9.8 at the shop, signed by Bill Morrison at Comic-Con for sale. So if anybody's interested in that. Yeah. Here is another one in a 9.6. Silver Age coming. I see Silver Age. Oh, yeah, here we go. We've got 9.2 Captain America number 6, our first Winter Soldier. It is first full appearance. And then from here, we jump into some Silver Age. Marvel. Spider-Man number 46 in a 5.0. Fantastic Four number 46. First Black Bolt at a 6.5. Fantastic Four number 94. Double cover. First cover. Oh, these are okay. Yeah, this is cool. First cover is a 6.5. Interior cover is an 8.0. The double cover 8.0. Right there. This one had tape on it. We had to take the tape off it. All right. We've got an Avengers number 25, Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom appearance in a 5.5. All right, here we go. Some nice ones here, guys. First appearance of Mysterio. Wow, and a 5.0. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 40 in a 3.0. Origin of the Green Goblin. We have a Silver Surfer number 1 in a 3.0. And we have a Silver Surfer number 3. Got a whole bunch of these Silver Surfer books in a 4.0. First Mephisto. Classic Silver Surfer cover. Thor and Loki appearance. Silver Surfer number 4 presents really nice at a 5.0. And then a Werewolf by Night number 1 and a 5.5. Story continued from Marvel Spotlight number 4. Nice copy and a 5.5. All right, so one more box to go, guys. So don't go anywhere. Let me put these guys away. All right. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying, then we'll go to the final box in just a moment. Dave says, am I still meeting up with you this week? I have appointments on Thursday and Friday in Toronto. Dave, I'm supposed to figure out your invoice, right? I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Your books are right there behind me. Right there. The ones we were taught, the ones that were in question. Let me kind of, if you don't mind, let me kind of figure things out. And you might have more stuff in those boxes I have downstairs. Yeah. Is that okay? Let me know. Okay. Dave Clark says, has CGC's bubble thingy reduced crack cases drastically? I like wearing them on my head. I don't have any here to wear on my head. It looks like it has, right, Dave? I mean, I'm not seeing many crack cases. They do happen. Magazines more so than comics. But I think it has worked. For sure, it has worked. You still see the odd one, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, I know. I love that cover. I love it. All right, Dave. Thanks. Let me know, right, Dave? I mean, if you're missing your books and you want a bad, like you want to make, we can figure something out. I just got to figure out what happened to your invoice because that thing went missing. I don't know what's going on with that. I have the books. I have no invoice. It's weird. Okay, last box. Last box. Oh, some more Silver Age. You want more Silver Age? Well, that's what you're gonna get. Not all Silver Age, but oh my, look at all these invoices, guys. See what I got to do? I have to cross-reference all of this. You see those files right there in the red bin right there? Those are all the current orders. I have another one right here. Oh. I don't want them to fall over, but right, those and all of those. Whoops, sorry. All of these are my orders. And so what I got to do is I got to correlate or cross-reference the invoice numbers on here with the invoices either in this pack I just showed you or the ones back there. Now, Dave's books, which are, like I said, right over my head there and right there by that yellow thing, for some reason, he has no dossier. It's got to be somewhere. So I got to locate that and, yeah, figure things out. But anyways, that's what I got to do tomorrow. And there's more. This is just for one box. I've got, like I just showed you, 5 boxes. So I got about probably 30 of these I got to sort. So yeah, sorting takes forever. My daughter used to do it for me, but now that she's at school, one more duty daddy has to do. All right, let's keep going. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man. Wow, 39. Norman Osborn revealed as a goblin, first Romita Spider-Man art in the title. And it's 7.5. That's a nice grade for that. Very nice. We have a 9.8 copy of Fathom preview special, Michael Turner authenticated signature, and a 9.8. There you go. And that's a JSA signature series. Dave, are you there still? Dave B? Dave B, are you there? If you're there, say yes, I'm here. Gonna stop for a second. Gotta stop for Dave B. You gotta play some triumphant music, Dave. You ready? Dun 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 da 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 da. Dave, how long have you been waiting for this one? There it is. That's Dave's silver, pure silver foil, AF15. 1 ounce, 0.999 silver, limited mintage, 1,000 of these. Check that out. He's been waiting, what, since the winter? And Luke says, why did it take so long? I'll tell you why. Because when you send this book, or it's not a book, it's a cover. When you send this in, it goes from CGC to their mint. They have a currency and minting department, grading department. And with CGC, whenever an item goes from CGC proper to the mint side of things, or if it goes to CCS to be, cracked and pressed, Mike Sosniski, I'm not sure if he's in here or not. He's been waiting for a great magazine we're going to probably see next time. He's been waiting since, gee whiz, I think even like almost a year for his magazine. And it's finally done. It's back. I just haven't gotten to it yet. It takes forever. Anyways, there you go, Dave. You're asking, you hope they didn't lose it. They didn't lose it. It just took so damn long. So where CGC is concerned, when you're adding services or asking for a different department to do a job, it takes forever. So congrats. It's back, brother. And it looks really nice, by the way. Don't you think it looks good? I think it looks very, very sweet. Looks very, very good. All right. But Dave, we did another one of those before, right? It was you. I remember it was you. You said something else before, similar, and it took a really long time as well. And I did not even know that was in there. I'm telling you. Daredevil 131, first appearance of the new Bullseye in a 7.0. Blue Bolt number 1 in a 4.5. Dick Cole. Forever People number 1 in a 7.0. Fantastic Four number 129. Another double cover, guys. Another double cover. First cover is a 7. Exterior cover is a 7.5. Very bright cover. Nice smile on that guy. There you go. Resident Evil number 1 from 1996, 9.8. Ding, 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 ding. They were asking how much Dave purchased that AF-15 silver foil cover or silver cover. There's your answer right there. We have Aliens number 1. Restoration includes small amount of color touch on cover. And it's a black cover, so it stuck by this one. 8.5. And another Iron Fist. Oh, no, we didn't have that. Iron Fist 14 for Sabretooth 7.5. Get into focus. My gosh, right there. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. 8.5 copy of Silver Surfer Rebirth, wraparound cover, and an 8.5. Like, why is that an 8.5? Like, you're mentioning, am I ever shocked by anything? I'm shocked by this. Why is this an 8.5? I'm sure I'll find something wrong. To me, that should be like a 9.8. What's going on here? Why is it an 8.5? I don't know. I'll have to look up the notes later and see. Because right beside it, probably from the same owner, the same owner. No, it's not. It's not. We got a Marvel Zombies. Number 1 in a 9.8. All right, we got an 8.5 copy, X-Men 113, Magneto appearance. We got a Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, number 3, Simu Lee, authenticated signature in a 9.8. Right there. And again, if you have any books with signatures on them and you want to get authenticated, it's $40 per signature. Even if they don't find it authentic, they're going to charge you the $40. Another one with Simu Lee signatures, a 9.4. This is a Shang-Chi number 1 and a 9.4. We have got to have at least one ASM 252, right? In a 9.2. Just a direct copy. We have a Batman 251 and a 3.5. That presents really nice, actually, for a 3.5. It's got a little tear at the bottom there. You'll notice. We got a Wolverine number 1. Another Wolverine number 1. 9.8. That's the second 9.8 of this book tonight. And why don't we do a hat trick? Yeah, we're doing a hat trick. Look at this. We had 2 9.8s. How about 3 9/8? That's not bad at all. Oh, here's a biggie. I bet you they charge me more for this one. But I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. 46104. No, not yet. 9.6. X-Men 101. First Phoenix. I had a 9.8 white pager of this for a while. What a beautiful book. Nice. At its height, it was like $10,000. I remember. I don't think it's that anymore. I could be wrong. We got a 9.6 Red Sonja. A lot of 9.6s coming up. Number 1, sorry. We have a Vigilante number 1 and a 9.6. Gonna move quick. Not bad. 5 boxes in an hour. Not bad. Not bad at all. Another 9.6 at a Silver Spider-Man and a 9.6. We've got a DC Comics Presents 55 and a 9.6. Boy, this grader was on into the 9.6s. Got a whole bunch of 9.6s back to back. Last two, we got an ASM 363 and a 9.2. And then last but not least, an ASM 291 in a 9.6. There you go. Now, what are you guys saying here? Well, I'm glad. It's only taken a year to get it back. There's a couple on eBay now, a 9.8 and a 9.9. Thought it was pristine when I brought it to Kevin. Well, listen, I didn't do anything to that thing. That thing just was packed and sent in. So it is what it is. To me, that should be a 10. You know what I mean? It's probably just a 10. Like, what could be possibly wrong with that? Did not make it a 10. That's just silliness, in my opinion. And Dave also says, did the issue where they charge you an exorbitant amount to not do anything with the CBCS book work out? Well, I'm glad I phoned them, and thank you for reminding me. Actually, I'm going to write that down now to make sure I get my money back for that. That was for Daredevil number 1 that belongs to Tony. So what happened, just to reiterate what or kind of go over what Dave was saying, I sent a 9.0 CBCS, and it might actually be over here. Let me see. There it is. Yeah. So I sent this book for Tony to CGC to get it potentially pressed and, regraded. And Tony wanted a 9.0. That's what he said. So he goes, Kevin, if they can't guarantee me a 9.0, I don't want it cracked. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. So I sent it in. I put a big note on it. And I said, listen, again, if you cannot give it a 9, do not grade it. Do not crack it. Send it back. So they didn't do anything. They had the book for about 2.5, 3 months. First of all, I told you, CCS, right? The book came back last week. And like Dave said, it had a bill. I'll show you the bill. That's the bill right there. That's US, by the way. And as you can see, my friends, nothing was done. So yes, they did in fact charge me for actually more than that, because there was another fee they charged. It was about $530 US. It was like $600-700 Canadian to do nothing. So they're supposed to credit me that back. They did charge Tony to pre-screen it. Now, okay, look, they're going to look at the book and determine whether or not the book could become maintain a 9.0 in their slab. They charged Tony 1% of $16,000. So Tony has to pay $160 USD plus the 5 USD invoice fee and the shipping, just to them to say, no, it's going to stay a 9.0 in the CBCS slab. Okay. So they charged me for that too, by the way. So they charged me the crazy amount. And they charged me the 1% pre-screening fee. So now I got to call back. So again, thank you for reminding me, Dave. I was writing down my to-do CGC to-do list. They sent an X-Men 1 to the wrong place. It's on its way back, I think. They did not send a commercial invoice with an order. I have to this is the amount of things I have to waste my time doing. Seriously. I have 3 items here I have to contact CGC for tomorrow. I'll be on the phone with them probably for 45 to an hour dealing with these stupid things that should never happen in the first place. So a commercial invoice that they did not send. My broker wants it. And then the DD number 1, I got to make sure they're going to credit me back that almost $700 Canadian that they took. And had I not noticed that, they would have got $1,000 for doing absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's my life, guys. Thanks for asking. I got all the stress in my chest now. Haggard, how's it going there, Colin? Good to see you, buddy. You're very welcome, Dave. My pleasure. My pleasure. They charged for it. Yes, they 100% charged for it. They told me they did. They got to credit it back. Close to 500 USD for nothing. But that was, they screwed up. They screwed up. Bad hombre. Any updates on the V8? Oh, thank you. I phoned them and the guy I'm dealing with for this is named Christian. And I've talked to Christian 3 times about that, bad hombre. So VHS, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too. Yeah. So I called them. Actually, I emailed them. Actually, I called and emailed them before I went away on my vacation. And they said, well, please send us the invoices from FedEx. So I sent them the invoices from FedEx. And guess what? Nothing. Heard nothing. So I contacted them last week. Again, Christian answered the phone. I said, Christian, what's going on? He said, well, they have gotten your information. We just don't know anything yet. So bad hombre, the way what I've been noticing with CGC lately is that you call, you complain about something, or you need something done, and nothing happens. And that's new. It was never like that. If I needed a commercial invoice, I would have had it within 5-10 minutes. Now it's been like 2 weeks. I haven't got one yet. This thing with the VHS cassettes being overcharged for the shipping, I would have gotten a credit back by now. Nothing. Them overcharging the DD number 1, I would have had a credit back on my Visa within 24 hours. I've heard nothing back. That has become CGC lately. It's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. The amount of time I waste with them. I was on the phone with them for about an hour on Thursday or Friday. I was talking to a lady there, and I was upset. And I said, listen, I just wasted an hour. Not that I don't mind talking to you, but I just wasted an hour of my time talking to you today. I already wasted 2 hours before I went on vacation. What's my time is worth money here, guys. You were screwing up, and it's taking me time to rectify these problems. And I have my little list here of things that they got to fix and they haven't fixed yet. And if I don't stay on top of them, Dave, if I don't stay on top of them, bad hombre, guess what happens? My money that they charge me for nothing, they'll keep. The VHS cassette stuff, they'll keep that too. So I have to keep harassing them, which is really irritating. Anyways. Yeah. Justin, I just harvested a bundle of 9. Are those yours? Are those yours, buddy? Yeah, it's 100% land. They're customer service. And look, when you call customer service, they're very, very nice. They're very, very nice. But I'm just noticing shit's not getting done. Like the X-Men 1, they got sent to Comic Link. Remember, I talked about that too, right? They sent an X-Men number 1 to Comic Link. My client's book was not supposed to go to Comic Link. Was supposed to come back here. No. Shipped it to a whole other place. So I had them return it to CGC. That's why I called them last week to get an update on that X-Men number 1. And like, oh, we know nothing about that. I go, what are you fargan talking about? It's there. So I had to give them all the numbers. Oh, it is here. So you wanted it sent to Comic Link? No, the book was not supposed to go to Comic Link in the first place. One of your people there effed up and sent it to Comic Link. Now it's back in your hands. And I said, it should have had a ship back to me priority. On your dime. I should have already had it in my hands, and it's not. Why am I calling to find out about this book again now? Boy, you guys got me all heated. Why you ask me about CGC, guys? Why are you doing that to me? But I mean, it's like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this also goes with the fact that I do not have a dedicated customer service rep. I have to talk to this guy one day, this lady another day, this guy. They're all nice. They're all nice, but you have to repeat yourself. Even though they have notes of our conversation, you have to reiterate everything you've talked about the last 3, and you have to remember. And when you have like 4 different friggin' items you got to talk about, oh my Lord, guys, it's extremely aggravating. And I really, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I absolutely hate sending books out for grading. It's the bane of my existence. I don't like it. I hate it. And I'd like to stop. To be honest, I'd love to stop doing it, but all of you guys want it. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I absolutely don't like sending books to anywhere. PSA, CG, I don't want to. I even told PSA, I really don't want to do this. I said, I don't want to send books to you. I don't want to send cards. I don't want to send books. It's just a lot of headache for very little return. What's the point, right? But I mean, that's what the people want, and I give you guys what you want. Haggard, can you imagine just how many of these mistakes slipped? Oh, 100%. And I guarantee, and I said this last week, I guarantee they've effed up before, and I haven't caught it. You know why I haven't caught it, Colin? Because they don't send me statements unless I ask and request it. Like I got time to phone every 2 weeks and ask for a freaking statement that doesn't come right away. Then I forget. And and my accountant wants stuff done, and I just don't have time. So I'm just hoping they don't screw up. I'm going to tell you, I just requested a year's worth of statements. I'm going to spend one day going through them with a fine tooth comb. It might take me 2 or 3 days. And if I find any problems, they're going to reimburse me. But what a pain in the ass. They used to send me statements like clockwork, and I would be on top of them, but then they stopped. It's a real racket. It's good to get us in a it's like my therapy session here on YouTube, guys. Thanks. Chad says, hey, Kevin. Hey, Chad, how are you? No. I don't see it that way anyway. Thanks, Colin. I appreciate that. Thanks, pal. Appreciate it. Guys, listen, that's it. 5 boxes. I might come back again for 3 boxes, maybe, if I have time. I have a ton of invoicing I got to get done. If I get my invoicing done tomorrow, like in the afternoon, I have a doctor's appointment at like 1:45. I'm not going to the shop tomorrow. Charlo and Nupur are on their own tomorrow. If I come home and I can get my invoicing done, like say by 6 or 7, I might come on and do another impromptu, like 2 or 3 boxes just to get ahead. And then by next Tuesday, I got more boxes coming back now too. I'll try. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try. Only so much I can do. But thanks so much. PSA will take market share from them if they don't change. Yeah, well, they're not changing. They're getting worse, actually. I used to sing CGC's praises when it came to customer service a year ago. I have noticed a real slump, a real change in the efficiency of their customer service department, for sure. Oh, guys, by the way, next week, make sure you put it on the calendar. Dave from Collector's Comics is going to be here joining us. Next, I met Dave at San Diego Comic-Con and at the PSA event, and we talked a little bit. I said, come on my show sometime and talk about your website and the services you offer. So he's coming next week to talk about all sorts of things, including his sales service that his website offers, what he offers. Yeah, you know who he is. Anyways, guys, hope to see you again there for sure. Have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go to bed now because I am tired. My friends, take care. Bye for now. Thanks for letting me vent. Ciao.